Hello everyone and welcome back to Mr. Moves Models. This is another kit review, and today I'm going to be reviewing Airfix's 1/72 scale BAE Hawk in the traditional red arrows markings. So I may well be building this for an RF 100 group build before the end of the year. I'm just trying to sort out what builds I'm doing upcoming. So I've been going through the stash and I thought we'd have a quick look inside the box and see what's in there and take it from there. So we'll get the camera pointed down at the bench and get cracking on with the review. So the Airfix 1/72 scale RAF Red Arrows Hawk. Starting on top of the box, we've got a nice piece of box art here with two Hawks doing a crossover. I imagine these are the two solo Hawks from the Red Arrows when they approach a vast rate of knots and do a cross. I think it's one of the most amazing pieces of flying they do, because they are really close together and they are going very fast. So it's a nice box art to start with. We've got the kit number here, which is A02005A, and we've got that's about it. On the side of the box here we have got a little bit of detail just about the Hawk, and that's in different languages. And on the other side we've got the same information but in English, and also the picture of what a Hawk looks like when it's finished. Humble paint callouts always for Airfix kits, and then details about the completed build, which should be 163mm long, 130mm wide and 69 pieces to the build. On the edge we haven't really got much apart from the fact that it's an officially licensed product from the RAF Red Arrows, and there again on the other end we've just got the kit number just there. Wonderful. Right, so opening the box, we've got the instructions and decals in there hopefully somewhere, so we'll put those to one side. We've got these bags have been opened because I've given this a clean. One bag with the clear parts in, always nice to have it separate, and then typical Airfix, everything else lobbed into one big bag. So we've got a loose part already, which is a bit annoying. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sprues, a loose part, and we've also got the traditional Airfix club propaganda, shall we say. Now, just going off on a tangent, Airfix flying hours, I don't have any intention of joining the Airfix club, so what I've done with my flying hours, I've cut them all off and I've sent them off to Models for Heroes, where they get put to good use and allow the charity to get kits to give to the veterans for their therapeutic modelling sessions. I'm going to link the charity down below this video. For those of you who don't know of it, go and check it out. They're a great charity. Right, back on track. Sorry about that. Okay, we'll start with the instructions. There we go. So we're going to come up to the top camera for this. We'll just pop the decals out to the side. There we go. So, first page is technical specification about the Hawk. This is very sort of traditional of Airfix to put this on the front of all their kits. So got in English, French, German, Spanish, and I think that's Swedish. And then a few bits of health and safety, which carry on the second page. So all your health and safety, blah blah blah, and also the assembly instructions for those who don't know, who've never done Airfix before. They're quite self-explanatory. Starting with the pilot here, and we are calling out for 238, so that is the right colour, that's a red signal red, so it's a red fly suit. And then going into the cockpit, assembly cockpit, and the instruments are represented by decals, which for the scale is probably right. Then we go on to pop in bulkheads on the front and back, and we are popping in the landing gear here, which is slightly annoying because I like to add my landing gear after I've done most of my painting. So on this one here you're going to have to mask it off in order to paint with the airbrush, or you can do it closed in the in-flight position. Then we are bringing the fuselage halves together, and not forgetting 5 grams of weight in the nose. 5 grams into such small kit is going to be a bit of a challenge. And not forgetting to put the engine exhaust in either. Moving on, steps 5 and 6. So we've got the port and starboard air intakes. Not forgetting to paint the inside of those. And then we move on to putting on the shroud for the rear instrument panel, the air intakes on the kit, Part 8 will bring the lower and upper wings together. And then part 9 we are putting on the flap actuators here. Now, having built this kit before but in a different scheme, I would not put these on right now. Because if you're going to use the decals to do the arrow underneath, these flap actuators cause headache. So you're best off leaving them off, painting them by all means, putting your decals down. Then once your decal's gone down nicely, you can just cut the decal out from the bit which is sunk in from the recess of where the flap actuators go, and pop those in, and then you don't have any problems. And then all you need to do is basically just paint up a bit of white to make sure that the ones which are covered by the white arrow underneath are white, if that makes sense. Step 10, we're popping the canopy on and the hump here on the fuselage. We're popping the tailplanes on, and it's talking about the fact we've got a dihedral here and lumps and bumps. Part 11 is optional, so if you want to have the speed brake down or speed brake up, we've got the different parts here. And then we're moving on to steps 12 and 13, which is the main gear that goes in there, and some lumps and bumps. And then step 15 we're putting in the main gear doors, and step 16 we've got the smoke generator pod here, and that is about it really. Paint call out for this one, so we have only got the sort of one paint call out, surprise surprise, because it's red arrows. So these are the classical markings with the vertical stabiliser or the rudder having the red, white and the blue rather than having like the Union flag on it. I quite like these really traditional colours. The paint call out itself, Airfix calls out for Humble 238, which is supposed to be arrows red, supposed to be matched to them. However, I don't get on that well with Humble acrylics, and spraying Humble enamels is never good fun, so I will be using MRP. I'll just bring it out for you. No, throw it to the side here. MRP Signal Red, and that is, let's just get use focus if we will. Come on. Come on. No, yes, we go. MRP Signal Red, which is MRP 184. This often gives a nice red arrows colour. Red colour, should we say. So there we go. So that's quite good. We've got options on serial numbers. You can represent any one of the aircraft which the red arrows slot. Decals. So I'm going to bring you in from the side for this. There we go, and we'll let it focus. So decals are quite simple. My experience is that the white here can be a little bit translucent, so just need to be a little bit careful with that. You can of course mask off the white bits and paint them if you're feeling brave enough. I've done that with the arrow underneath on one of the previous builds. And then obviously you just get to choose your serial number for the aircraft. And then if we're bringing you right in at the top here, we've got the instrument panels. There we go, it will focus, there we go. Which are nicely represented, I think, in this scale by decals. So far, not bad. Let's get on with the sprues. So, we see sprue A, right. Start with sprue A coming in from the side. So sprue A, we've got upper wings with recessed panel lines here. Let's bring you all the way in. Airfix panel lines are notoriously heavy. I think that's one way of putting it. People say they're a bit heavy. I don't mind them. They take a wash lovely, and at the end of the day, it's a scale model. It's not anything else but just a bit of a fun to build. So on here we've got some nice detail. The landing gear also nicely detailed there as well. That's all good. Sprue D, sprue C, sprue B. So once again coming in from the side. Here we have got cockpit details. So the ejector seats are a bit bland, shall we say. However, if you put a pilot on top of one of them, well, that hides that, and then you could put some smear masking tapes in the back. We've got the cockpit tub here also, once again quite bland, but it does the job. Once you've got decals on there, it's quite nice. And that's about it for that sprue. Sprue C. Just be careful with that. Sprue C here, we have got the fuselage halves. These go together quite well from previous experience, and they're quite nicely detailed as well. The only thing to be careful with this kit when you're building it is getting the cockpit tub actually on the inside here. So let me just... Once you put the cockpit tub in here, you can find that sometimes it doesn't sit properly between the front and the rear bulkhead, so you just have to play around with it a little bit to get to close up nicely. On the inside we have got a bit of generic internal detailing. So there, I don't think it represents everything, but it'll take a little bit of a wash if you want to. And last sprue is lower wing with some detail on the inside of the landing gear bays. Pilot here, who, if we'll focus, there we go. Pilot there, which doesn't look like a World War II pilot, which is always a nice change, because sometimes the Airfix kits can look like a World War II pilot. This one looks relatively new. It's not got a May West on, so that's always good. So there we go. Pop you back out. There we go. That's the last sprue. So not too bad at all. What we're going to do now is flip the camera back round and speak to you face to face and give you my sort of general thoughts and impression of the kit. And with that, I'll say my goodbyes. Thank you guys. I'll see you in a second. Actually, I've just realised I've been a bit of a donut. I forgot to show you the clear parts. So, just putting clear parts here on the side for you and bringing you in nice and tight. There we go. So clear parts. As you can see, there's some quite bad distortion there. However, what it does have, it's got this sort of internal recess. Hopefully, you'll be able to see it a bit better there. Which, if the camera will focus, let's see. There we go. Got an internal recess on the inside of the canopy, which will take a sort of nice white or light grey wash, acrylic wash, really well, and then you can just rub it out. And that then puts the deck cord in the canopy, which is obviously easier to do than painting it or putting a decal in there. So on the whole, not a bad set of clear parts. I say a little bit of distortion, which you can see from the side here. However, with the scale, you're going to get that, aren't you? So, as I was saying earlier, just going to pop the cameras back round, speak to face to face, and wrap this one up. So, Airfix's 172 RAF Red Arrow Hawk, what do I think of it? Well, I think it's a jolly nice kit, and in fact I know it's a jolly nice kit because if you look here, I've got a couple in the display camera already. I've got the Benevolent Fund Black Hawk and a 2015 Markins Red Arrow. So I know it goes together okay. There's a few little issues just around the cockpit tub, and as I said during the review, don't put in those flap actuators or until such time that it's painting decals down. It saves a lot of headache. Other than that, yeah, it's a fantastic little kit, love it to bits, highly recommend it to anybody. If you haven't got one, go out and get one. You can pick them up for reasonable prices. I was going to say the £10–12 mark, maybe less if you hunt around. Sorry. And they're great fun. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up there. I'm going to say thank you to everybody who's watched the video. Thank you to all those who support the channel in whichever form and fashion you do it. The comments are always appreciated, and I try and read. I do read every single one of them, so that's grand. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye, guys. Take care. Enjoy your modelling, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.